The chapter starts with Yuji deciding he will crush Sukuna's heart, but as soon as Sukuna chants domain expansion, he sees Gojo standing, and in disbelief, Sukuna wonders if it's really him, but pushes away that thought as say it's impossible. But Sukuna suddenly realizes who it is and punches away Yuji as he moves forward and says, "I apologize for underestimating you. I didn't know you were capable of going that far, Yuta." So Yuta is using Gojo's body using Kenjaku's technique. We have a flashback. Yuta decides to have Rika devour Kenjaku and copy his cast technique, which will allow Yuta to change bodies. Maki objects to this plan, but Hikari says he has a condition. They are gonna use this plan when everyone is wiped out and they don't have any other options. Kusekabe says, "Can't we just copy Limitless from Gojo's body?" Shoko replies and says, You can't use Limitless without their 6 eyes." Kusekabe says, "Then copy the 6 eyes." Shoko replies and says, "The 6 eyes are part of his physical body. It's not a case technique, so he can't copy it." Maki asks, since Yuta can use copy case technique for only 5 minutes, what will happen later? Yuta says he doesn't know. Wow, that's a check of guns there. That's a check of gun. Mei explains the pros and cons of Yuta copying Kenjaku's technique. Number 1, if Kenjaku's cast technique is constant or intermediate operation type, the physical body or the soul can't be maintained and he'll die. Number 2, if the cast technique operates intermediately, he won't immediately die, but he'll eventually die. Number 3, if the cast technique is a single use one-time technique, he can use the Limitless even past 5 minutes. So Mei says, after the switching of bodies completed, it is also possible that Yuta's cast technique is discarded and he'll live in Gojo's body from now on. So even though they know how Kenjaku's technique, they don't really understand how it really works. So it's kind of risky going forward. Anyway, Yuta says he knows that this is the last resort, so first he will try to fight Sukuna with his own domain. If he can't win, he'll accept Gojo's body. Kusekabe says it's a good plan, but it's not human. Yuta says, "What do you mean not human? We are about to fight the history's strongest Jujutsu sorcerer. If we can win just by throwing away our humanity, we shouldn't be arguing about this." Yuta asks if anyone is afraid of becoming some monster to fight Sukuna. Maki rebukes Yuta, saying that everyone is just concerned about him. Yuta snaps and says, "What about Gojo Sensei? Is he not important? Haven't we been pushing him to become haven't we been pushing the button to become a monster onto Gojo Sensei alone? If Gojo Sensei is gone, then who else will be the monster? If no one intends to become one, then I will." The scene switches. Yuta tells Gojo that he will take his body if he dies. Gojo says he's fine with that, but he has no intention of losing and doesn't care what happens to his dead body. Yuta says, "Oh, by the way, I was told that I was a descendant of Fujiwara blood. Didn't Gojo Sensei say that I was a descendant of Sugawara?" Gojo says, "It's Sugawara. You and me are a distant relative, but we aren't Sugawara. But weren't the Sugawara and the Fujiwara on bad terms?" Yuta says, "So I guess Uro-san had a misunderstanding then." Gojo says, "Well, it's possible that both of us are right." Then Gojo says Yuta might have been born under the better circumstances than him. So Gojo says if Yuta can't utilize that advantage, he's totally lame. Gojo says, "Let's start off with your sloppy cast energy. I've always told you to be careful about that." Scene switches again. Yuta is cut in half due to Sukuna's sledge and has been rushed to the medical ward. Yuta says he's conscious thanks to Rika, but he's starting to reach his limit. Shogo tells Yuta that he has already stitched up Gojo's corpse. So once Yuta switches, he has to activate the reverse cast technique at maximum capacity and and complete their body. Back to the present, Sukuna and Yuta in Gojo's body both open their domain. Narrator says Gojo had already shown the solution to Sukuna's open barrier domain. The chapter ends with Sukuna using Marvelous Shrine and Yuta using Gojo's unlimited void. That's all from me, guys. See you on the next one.